my dear friends, now it's time for the first impressions of the Honor Magic 7 Pro. Last year I looked at the Magic 6 Pro from a slightly different perspective because it was the first Honor phone I owned. Let's start by saying that the 7 Pro launch happened a bit earlier this year. I remember ordering the 6 Pro last year. The shipment were at the same time as my return to Malta after Easter holidays. Now the price in Poland after conversion to euros is about 1,350 euro. To be honest, seeing this price in Poland, I didn't make the same mistake as last year and bought the phone in Germany. Thanks to the additional codes, it came out a lot cheaper for me, even with the charger and case. The color I have is Lunar Shadow Grey. It seemed pretty interesting, and it really is. The 7 Pro obviously looks similar to 6 Pro, but the changes are noticeable. I don't have 6 Pro with me, but the 7 Pro seems clearly wider. However, thanks to the fact that the case I ordered doesn't cover the sides, it's not too bothersome. If the sides were fully covered, I would probably feel the weight more. The volume buttons are quite high, which annoys me a bit. We now have IP69 instead of just IP68. The screen is less curved, but the specs are similar to the previous model. It's probably the same screen with the Full HD Plus resolution. There are other screens with the higher resolution, but at first glance there is no drastic difference. Peak brightness goes up to 5000 nits when viewing HDR content, of course, and typical brightness is 1600 nits. So far, I haven't had any problems in strong sunlight, and the auto brightness works very well. Just like with the 6 Pro, we have the same always-on display as the iPhone, which tracks our set wallpaper, but we can also choose the classic always-on display option. What really stands out about this phone is the biometrics, a rare feature in the Android world, unlocking with the 3D face recognition, and it works really well, both in the day and in the dark rooms. You can also use it to unlock banking apps, which I have set up in my apps like Polish Alior Bank and Revolut. Additionally, we now have an ultrasonic fingerprint reader, which is also a big change. Previously, the sensor was optical and placed too low, but now it's at the right height and works very smoothly. And now, how does the phone perform? With the Snapdragon 8 Elite and 12 GB of RAM, it works really well. Honor runs on the Magic OS and I really like it. Of course, it reminds me a lot of Huawei P30 Pro interface, so users of that model will feel right at home here. There are a lot of customizations options from different wallpaper themes, always on display, icons, and even simple folders, which makes the interface very interesting. But the interface also reminds iOS in many ways, especially the control center. We have a Magic Capsule, which works with some apps, activating during calls or even using Tidal. Just like with the Magic 6 Pro, we have AI features like the Magic Portal or Live AI translation, but unfortunately not all languages are supported. We have the Magic Eraser and the option to cut out part of photos in the gallery. And there is also the Circle to Search. I should also mention the haptics. Unfortunately, it hasn't been improved compared to 6 Pro. It feels a bit dull and I couldn't find any way to configure it. When compared to OnePlus 12, OnePlus 13 or Pixel phones, there's no comparison. For now, in everyday use, the phone doesn't overheat, but temperatures aren't too high yet. I plan to test it later, especially in stress tests, and maybe I will push it a bit on a warmer day, but unfortunately the weather isn't on our side right now. Honor promises longer software support now, with 5 years of Android updates, which is a plus. The speakers are very loud, probably some of the loudest I've heard. You have to be careful with the volume because around 60% and above the speakers start resonating strangely at least on the standard setting that boosts the bass. I recommend switching to the 3D surround sound settings, as the speakers perform much better this way, in my opinion, of course. As for the codecs, we have only LDAC, aptX and aptX HD. And now let's move on the camera. Of course, to keep it brief, the camera specs are shown on the slide. It's hard to find extra information about the sensor used in the main lens. The specs on the producer's website are the same for both the 7 Pro and 6 Pro, but the 7 Pro adds the label Super Dynamic Honor Falcon Camera, which isn't on the 6 Pro. So I won't speculate whether these are the same sensors, because even online sources give different information. The first thing I did when I turned on the camera was switch the colors from vivid to natural, as we have 3 color variants and the natural one looks the best, in my opinion. It seems to be better than 6 Pro. The colors are more natural. True Honor sometimes struggles with HDR, which can sometimes appear too aggressive. A plus is that now we can manually adjust the aperture from 1.4 to 2.0 or use automatic mode. Regarding zoom, Honor isn't using Samsung latest HP9 sensor found in phones like Vivo X100 Ultra or X200 Pro. Instead, it used the HP3 sensor. Despite having the same megapixel count, 200 megapixel, and the same sensor size as the Vivo, it doesn't deliver the same level of photos. I think I will do a direct comparison of this zoom later between Vivo and Honor. The first picture taken with this telephoto lens showed that it's just okay. It doesn't impress despite the specs. I remember saying that the 6 Pro wouldn't be the king of long-distance zoom. Of course, I said this in my Polish channel last year. And here it's better, but still not amazing. Honor tries to make up for it with AI. For zoom above 30x, there is a super zoom AI feature, which you can turn on and off, but it gives mixed results, sometimes better, or sometimes worse. One thing I definitely like so far is the front camera, but it's worth turning off the beauty mode at the start, as without it, photos always come out with that beauty effect. Another interesting effect occurs with the night shots. Where other phones show a flare from the flash, from the lamp, Honor shows a cool reflections of light in the form of star, although that sometimes look artificial. And you know, these are just first impressions. I'm trying to take picture with the OnePlus 13 and Vivo X100 Ultra to see the differences, and I will put everything together to compare OnePlus 13 and Honor, and maybe even compare each of these smartphones with the Vivo X100 Ultra. I will give a more detailed verdict later. And now a bit about the battery. I don't really understand Honor's logic this year. First of all, we have a new generation of battery with a graphite carbon mix, but the batteries are different depending on the market. In Europe, we have 5,270 mAh battery, while the rest of the world gets 5,850 mAh. And this battery is smaller than in the Magic 6 Pro. For now, I can't complain about the battery. So far, it's really good, but it's still too early to give a precise screen-on-time results. We will see how it goes, because I remember that 6 Pro held up really well. It was one of the best phones I had in terms of battery. Wired charging is 100 watt and wireless charging is 80 watt. Using Honor's dedicated 100 watt charger, I charged this Honor from 9% to 100 in 35 minutes. The Honor Magic 7 Pro will not have it easy in the market, especially as you can already buy the 6 Pro at a good price. The changes compared to the 6 Pro are not huge, mainly the slight changed shape and ergonomic, not necessarily for the better, a flatter screen, improved fingerprint reader and a different telephoto lens. These are just first impressions. I generally enjoy using the Honor, and every time I switch to it, it reminds me of the icon Huawei P30 Pro. It's a bit of sentiment. I will need a bit more time for the final conclusions. It's a very interesting smartphone, mainly through the presence of the Face ID on board, taking solutions from the different brands, but it is enough to be successful. I think the next video will be a comparison of the Honor Magic 7 Pro with the OnePlus 13, and then we will see. Maybe I will do the another movie between Honor and Vivo and OnePlus and Vivo, we will see. Thanks for watching this movie. I encourage you to subscribe this channel and of course leave a comment if you want to. Take care and see you.